saw the trailer for Lionsgate's new horror film, Hellfest, I was weirdly interested in it. For one thing, it stars Amy Forsyth, who was in that NBC show Rise that we did the editorial on. And I really enjoyed her as an actress. She's a relative up-and-comer. She hasn't been in too much. And when I saw she was going to be in this movie, I thought, ooh, that's kind of cool. And weirdly enough, I kind of liked the premise. I kind of liked the idea, which I'll talk more about in the synopsis, but I was weirdly interested. And like I did, like with the Sharknado review, I decided to let you, the viewers, decide if I'd take a look at this movie. And once again, you guys didn't shock me in the fact that you wanted me to do it. Thanks. Thanks, guys. This was the result. And actually, as we went through the week plugging the poll on social media, the Hellfest Twitter account liked a couple tweets. Everybody seemed pretty excited, so I said, you know what? Screw it. Let's take a look at this movie.
Nat? Oh my God, you're here? What?
It's Halloween. I got us VIP passes to Hellfest.
What is that?
It's a traveling horror night. Has horror mazes in it. You will totally lose it in there.
Amy Forsyth plays Natalie, a college student home for the weekend to reunite with her friends. Brooke, played by Regina Edwards. Taylor, played by Bex Taylor-Klaus. Gavin, played by Robbie Attal. And Asher, played by Matt Mercurio. The group decides to go to Hellfest, a traveling horror night known for its extreme frights. But a murderer has entered the park and is stalking the group.
Hello? Hey, can you let me out of here?
So as I mentioned, I've never actually seen a horror movie before. This was my first. Going in, I was really nervous, actually. I'm not gonna admit I was kind of like, oh God, I'm gonna die, this is gonna be horrible. But actually, at the movie theater I worked at, friend of the channel, Allie, was working. And she also is someone who doesn't really like horror movies. And she said to me, I saw it, you're gonna be okay. It's not too scary. And I definitely agree with her. I definitely agree that it's not the scariest film I've ever seen. I definitely got scared at a couple spots. There were 2 points where I did have to look away. But that was more for like some of the gore, because it does get a little extreme with its gore. There is a scene, and I'm not spoiling anything because it's in the trailers. There's a scene where a girl is in a guillotine, and I'm sure you can guess what happens from there. And that one I was just like, no, please, no, looking away, please, dear, no, you. I'll pass on watching a girl be beheaded. But I definitely really enjoyed watching the film. I think that when it's at its best, it can make you feel really tense. It can make you really tense up, and a lot of that comes from the camera work. Some of the scenes are really clever in the ways that it makes you feel like, not like you're there, but like it makes you feel claustrophobic. Similar to how way back in the day I was saying in my review of Murder on the Orient Express, that movie succeeded in making you feel claustrophobic, like you were on a train. This film makes you feel like you're in some of these horror mazes. And I think the smartest scene is a scene where Amy Forsyth is alone on this dark ride that I think it's supposed to get you from one point of the park to the other. It's like those classic, if you've ever been to like a county fair and there's the little scary horror ride where it's the little cart and it's going around. She's in that by herself. and the murderer, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything again, because it's in the trailers. The murderer stops the ride, and there's a flashing light, and he's inching closer and closer, and she's freaking out. She can't get out because the lap bar is there. They mounted the camera in a way where it's not like a POV, but it's like the camera is just behind where the lap bar is, and you're just looking at Amy Forsyth. It's a really, I'm not describing it probably, I'm not doing it justice, but the angle and watching Forsyth act with that angle, you got scared, guys. And it's scenes like that where really, this movie really succeeded. And the other thing I have to really praise is I loved Amy Forsyth in this role. I think she was terrific. Yeah, she is definitely, she's written to be the more serious of the friends, if that makes sense. I really think that the friends of Forsyth are written, like I mentioned in the premise, really unlikable. But that's kind of a trope of horror movies, is that the ones that are going to die are written kind of over the top, unlikable, so you don't feel too bad. And Forsyth's she's written really well. I think she did a really great job with what was given to her in the script. Now, this film has a lot of flaws, I think. Like I mentioned, it's kind of a cliche horror movie. You kind of know who's gonna die. Some of the deaths are really creative, though. I won't spoil. But like I mentioned, the first half of the movie, it's fun. It's entertaining. I was laughing more than I was spooked. Some of the deaths are really funny, like I said. But it's predictable. And the second half, I think, is better than the first. I won't say which of the remaining six kids survives, other than I kind of mentioned that Forsyth, being the lead actress, does survive. I won't say who she survives with. But when it's just the two of them trying to survive against the murderer and get out of the park, it gets really intense, and it's really quite fun.
You came here to be scared, right? I can't arrest people for doing their job. Welcome to Hellfest.
In the end, Hellfest is not a great movie. I think it's a good movie, it's a fun watch, and definitely worth checking out if this is your kind of film. A 3 out of 5.